The internet, a sprawling, interconnected web of information, a breeding ground for stories. Some are harmless, amusing tales spun for entertainment. Others, however, carry a darker tone. These are the whispers from the digital abyss, tales of horror and dread that seep into our consciousness. We call them creepypastas, urban legends confined to the digital realm. But what if these stories are more than mere fiction? What if they hold a grain of truth, a chilling reflection of our own reality? The line between fact and fiction is often blurred in the digital age. Stories spread like wildfire, shared and reshaped with each click. It's in this nebulous space where truth and myth intertwine that internet horror finds its unsettling power. We consume these stories, captivated by their chilling narratives. But as we delve deeper, we begin to notice eerie parallels to real-world events, blurring the lines between the imagined and the experienced. The year is 2014. Two 12-year-old girls lure a friend into the woods where they stab her 19 times. Their motive? To appease a fictional entity known as Slender Man, a tall, faceless figure often depicted in online horror stories. This chilling case shocked the world, highlighting the potential consequences of blurring fantasy and reality. The Slender Man, born from an online forum, transcended the digital realm to impact the physical world in a horrifying way. This incident serves as a stark reminder that the stories we consume, even those seemingly confined to the digital world, can have a profound impact on our thoughts and actions. The case also raises unsettling questions about the nature of belief and the influence of online content, particularly on young minds. Imagine, if you will, a knock on your door late at night. You open it to find two children, their faces pale and drawn, but something is amiss. Their eyes, devoid of pupils, stare back at you, black as night. This is the chilling encounter described by countless individuals who claim to have encountered the black-eyed children. Reports of these encounters date back centuries, often associated with folklore and superstition. Today, these stories find new life online, shared and reshaped in forums and chat rooms. The black-eyed children, whether figments of our collective imagination or something more sinister, tap into our primal fears of the unknown. Their disturbing appearance, coupled with the unsettling nature of their requests, often to be let inside, creates a sense of unease that lingers long after the story is told. He appears in the dead of night, a tall, unsettling figure with an unnaturally wide grin stretched across his pale face. He doesn't speak, but his presence alone is enough to inspire terror. This is the Smiling Man, a recurring figure in internet horror stories and a prime example of how seemingly disparate accounts can converge to create a chilling sense of shared experience. From the bustling streets of New York City to the desolate highways of rural America, encounters with the Smiling Man are eerily similar. Witnesses describe a sense of dread, an overwhelming feeling that something is terribly wrong. This shared experience, transcending geographical boundaries, suggests a collective unconscious, a shared well of fear from which such figures emerge. Whether the Smiling Man is a real entity or a manifestation of our deepest fears, his presence in our collective consciousness speaks to the power of shared storytelling. Sleepless in cyberspace. The Russian sleep experiment and its precursors. A group of subjects sealed in a chamber exposed to a gas that keeps them awake for days on end. As the experiment progresses, their behavior becomes increasingly erratic, descending into madness and violence. This is the premise of the Russian sleep experiment, a popular internet horror story that has captivated and terrified readers for years. While the story itself is likely fictional, it draws upon a long and disturbing history of real-world sleep deprivation experiments. From the CIA's MKUltra program to unethical studies conducted on prisoners of war, the quest to understand and control human sleep has often come at a terrible cost. The Russian sleep experiment, though a work of fiction, serves as a chilling reminder of the potential for human cruelty and the ethical boundaries that should never be crossed in the name of science. Echoes of History, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service began a study on syphilis in Tuskegee, Alabama. The subjects, all African American men, were told they were receiving free health care. In reality, they were denied treatment for syphilis, even after penicillin became widely available. The study continued for 40 years, resulting in preventable deaths and countless cases of transmission. While not directly related to internet horror, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study serves as a chilling example of how real-life events can be far more horrifying than anything we could imagine. This unethical experiment, fueled by racism and disregard for human life, highlights the dark side of scientific inquiry and the importance of ethical considerations in research. The study's legacy continues to cast a long shadow on the medical community, reminding us of the importance of informed consent and the ethical treatment of all individuals. The line blurs, distinguishing fact from fiction. As we've explored, the line between internet horror stories and real-life events can be unsettlingly thin. The stories we consume online, whether rooted in truth or fabricated entirely, have the power to shape our perceptions and influence our beliefs. But how do we navigate this landscape of blurred lines? How do we separate fact from fiction in a world where information spreads at an unprecedented rate? Critical thinking is paramount. We must approach online information, particularly sensationalized stories, with a healthy dose of skepticism. Verifying sources, considering multiple perspectives, and being wary of confirmation bias are crucial steps in discerning truth from fabrication. The power of belief, shaping our realities. The human mind is a powerful instrument, capable of conjuring vivid images and convincing narratives. The act of believing, of accepting something as true, can have a profound impact on our experiences. This is particularly relevant in the realm of internet horror, where the power of suggestion can amplify our fears and blur the lines between what is real and what we perceive to be real. Consider the placebo effect, where individuals experience tangible benefits from inert treatment simply because they believe they are receiving effective medication. Similarly, our belief in the reality of a particular horror story can manifest itself in physical sensations, such as goosebumps, increased heart rate, or a sense of being watched. A world of shadows, embracing the unknown. The internet, for all its wonders, has opened a Pandora's box of information, both true and fabricated. As we navigate this digital landscape, it's important to remember that the unknown will always hold a certain allure, a sense of mystery that both fascinates and frightens us. Rather than fearing this uncertainty, perhaps we can learn to embrace it, to acknowledge that there are limits to our understanding of the world and the forces that shape it. The stories we encounter online, whether rooted in truth or spun from the threads of imagination, remind us that the world is a vast and complex place, full of shadows and mysteries yet to be unraveled. Perhaps the true horror lies not in the stories themselves, but in our own willingness to believe, to blur the lines between fiction and reality, and to allow fear to dictate our perceptions of the world around us. The next time you find yourself captivated by a chilling tale from the digital abyss, take a moment to consider its origins, its veracity, and its potential impact on your own beliefs. For in the murky depths of the internet, where truth and fiction intertwine, the most terrifying monsters are often the ones we create ourselves.